Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody out there who may be tuning in the future. Because this game is not being broadcast live, that's the only way you'll be able to see it. Welcome back to the Erasmus Expeditions. This is episode 2 of the Inquisitors Toll for the Inquisitors side. This is Harbinger, which is a setting that is developed or being playtested by Absolute Tabletop. And it's kind of a science fantasy type thing, but it's based off of the rules of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. So, if you're starting here for some strange reason, don't. Go back, watch episode 1, and then you can come back and start this. So, before we get the last bit of business set aside and this train moving on, I'm going to toss it over to my players so that they can do their intros, and then we'll get started. So, first up, Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen Davies. I don't have a channel or anything to plug, but I am going to be playing Ivory. She's a young Inquisitor, new to Inquisiting, I guess you'd say it, having been at one point part of the CCPD and is no longer. And I'm looking forward to this session.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. I am too, very much so. Next up is Chad Smith.
Oh, I get to beat the other Chad. So I'm the other Chad though. So even though he's Chad and I'm the other Chad, and I just want to point people towards. Well, I guess I'll talk about my character first. I'm playing Elias Rennick. He's been an Inquisitor for long enough. He's more aged physically than everyone else that we'll be introduced to here shortly. And he's a mechanist, and he likes to play with spheroids and garners technologies and trying to learn more about Astra and trying to make sure that it's being used properly within devices and stuff like that and legally. And so that's why he's in the Inquisition. And Absolute Tabletop group on Facebook. I'd like to plug that. That's where I met most of these people at. That's how we're playing this today, I believe, mostly. So get in there and get some games in, play, post, enjoy. A great community. And I'll pass the mic.
Excellent, man. Absolutely. I will second that all day long. I believe that Chad has a channel, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it is in the description of this video down below. You can follow the link, as well as the other channels that will be mentioned here in just a moment. Next up, we have Alan.
Yes, I am playing Riker, a kind of classic noir Inquisitor, if you will, a detective who has a troubled past and is just kind of working through that while working with this case. You can check me out on YouTube at Check for Traps, and I believe Jeremy and the other players have already plugged in all the other good stuff there. So make sure to check out their channels in the descriptions below and Absolute Tabletop. And really looking forward to episode 2 of the Inquisitor storyline of this this story that Jeremy has put together for us.
Absolutely, man. And thank you. I know you probably had a very long day, so I'm glad that you're here with us, able to join us. And last but certainly not least, we have the original Chad, Nick.
The OG. Hi, guys. My name is Chad Nick. You guys can find me on YouTube at Chad Nick. I run a little game of Fiasco over there, which I kind of like right now. It's called All in the Family. It's pretty awesome, and I'm really excited to see where that one's going. But for tonight, I play a grizzled and grimy old soldier named Hargraves Lux. He is an Inquisitor with an axe to grind, and I just fucking love him. He's just awesome. So I'm really excited to see this. I'm really excited to get back in the groove with these guys and just do what we do. It's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. And Chad is also a third of the podcast, of which I am another third, called The Dudes of Yore.
Yes, please plug what I just completely whiffed
no, you're
on.
good, man. I believe he also has a channel that you can also find in the description below. So
Sure.
Yeah, definitely go check out his stuff. Give him some love. And yeah, welcome to the channel. All that kind of stuff. If this is your first time here, you are fair warned. Sometimes the language on this channel gets a little blue. Sometimes the topics can venture into the mature. If you have a pacemaker, if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, all that kind of stuff. You probably don't want to stick around because it can get offensive, and I really don't want to fucking deal with you and you're pissed off. So, shoot. Okay. Like I said, we're playing Harbinger. Do you guys have any kind of questions before we get started? No.
What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal. Damn. I'm coming out with the hard stuff. Cheetah whenever I was a kid. For sure.
Fastest animal alive. That's a good choice.
Yes, sir. Yep. Cool stuff. There's a lot of really cool animals in the world, actually. Some of them are kind of fucked up, but, that's how it happens. So, without any further ado, then, we will do a bit of a brief recap. That's an indication of things to come. My enunciation will just slowly fail its death saving throw. So, I think, yeah, this will cover the recap, actually, so. You guys ready? You sure you're ready? Is your soul ready? Good. Within seconds, the drone was there, snaking its way into the still smoking curator's shop by using its neon yellow Astra to void slit through the walls. The scanner parked itself in the middle of the apartment. It quickly assessed how many of you were still left breathing. You then had to go through the routine of proving that you had permission to use the Astra that you did fighting these people. Proving that you were, in fact, Inquisitors. Once the retinal scans identified you and the report had been filed, you were finally free to leave. And as you stepped back out into the rain to get into your unmarked cruiser once again, you couldn't help but think about the events that had transpired tonight and about what might still happen before this whole mess was sorted out. It was starting to seem like this was going to be a case for the books. A few reminders, since it has been some time. You found a strange cube of magenta Astra. You came to the curator's shop to kind of discover what this might be. And you have learned that it's pure Astra energy and is likely some kind of key. You also found a coaster with a specific bar's name emblazoned on it called the Tumbler. And on the back, there was an emblem that had been drawn, and your group put together that it was similar to a personal seal that was used by the explorer Tendo Nin some time ago. These Astra users that you've encountered are members of a group that are calling themselves the Cabal of the Covenant. They seem to have some kind of astral radiation that they carry around with them, give it off. And even when they die, they explode into a powdered astra, almost a gas that just dissipates. And you know that one of them, in this fight that you just had, in the bathroom of this curator's apartment, one of them seemed to have a particularly strong hatred for Elias. So, starting with all of that, what is it that you guys are currently up to? What's going on?
If I remember correctly, at the end of the session, Elias had gone to heal Hargraves, and Riker was like blown into the side of the wall, right, or like against the adjacent, like an adjacent cabinet in like or a curator box or something, right, in this apartment complex. And I think that Hargraves' initial reaction to being healed, while it should be thankful, he looks at Elias with just daggers for eyes, like, and you just see him like roll him over and pin him to the ground with the metal arm. Just
now you can answer me one thing, you little shithole. What the hell was that?
What the hell was what, my dear friend?
Look, I only work for you noble asshats because it's my job. I don't ask questions. I don't do a whole lot of shit, but he saw you like he knew you. So I'm going to give you.
And he pulls out his, like, he pulls out a small dagger from the inside of his, almost like, I imagine something akin to a Kevlar vest, right? That the Inquisitors would wear. And he just draws it out.
I'm going to give you, to the count of 3, just start talking, old man. Otherwise, you're going to end up just like every one of those astra-fucks.
You understand me? And you can see that he's sweating because the amount of astrafade that has been perfumed in this room is just filling his nostrils, and he is not at all how he should be. He is high and angry.
He'll look down at your arm on him. He's still kind of distraught from the whole scenario himself, and I'm going to ignore your slights. We've been through a lot today. There's a lot for us to take in. There's a lot for us to discover still. Calm yourself. You're a professional. Act like it. You're being paid. Let's get back to business. Your wisdom, your experience is valuable to me.
Oh, you have no idea how many times I've heard that. And how many times I've wanted to just... He slowly resheathes the dagger and pulls his metal arm off your throat. I'm gonna go check on the kid.
That sounds like a very, very good idea. You're full of good ideas. Remember that.
I'm watching you now, old man. You either lead us to finishing this, or I promise you, you ain't making this out alive, you understand?
We're all going to go someday. Let us not be today for either.
And he begins to walk away from you, just pissed off and sweating profusely from the astrophade that's like coursing through his body. Hey, Riker, wake up. Come on, kid. Come on. It was an explosion. You can do this. Come on, wake up.
I imagine Riker kind of like snapping out of a bad nightmare would just be like screaming and almost like kind of like fighting you off a bit, like don't touch me kind of thing. And he kind of like, as he gets up, his head's spinning and he just kind of like retches to the side. What happened? Did we get him?
He looks over at
the just absolute mess of just Astra blood everywhere.
Yeah, kid. Yeah, we got him. It wasn't pretty, but yeah, we got him.
Everybody make it? Any casualties?
No, not yet. I almost died. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm hurting something bad, but I'll be all right.
Well, if that didn't kill you, he kind of gets up, like as if like his back hurts. The paperwork will. Oh.
Damn paperwork, right? Listen.
And Jeremy, refresh my memory. Did anybody get away in our last session? If I remember correctly, I think so. I think one of them may have gotten away, but I wasn't sure.
Yes, I believe 2 actually managed to get away.
Okay. Is there one? Wasn't there? I feel like if I remember correctly, I know I daggered one in the leg, and I was dragging one backwards, but I don't know if I managed to keep them pinned that long to interrogate.
I think you guys interrogated, and that's how you found out their name.
Okay, that's right. We interrogated, and then he used the little. I think he had like a cyanide pill or something, and like exploded or something. I don't know.
He took his breather off.
He took the breather off and like let himself just.
Yeah, because they wear the gas masks.
Okay, that was in my memory, so I just wanted to make sure that I got it out. Okay, yeah. So yeah, no casualties though so far, but fuck. I think we still got to follow, because 2 of those rats got away. Couldn't get them all.
At that time, the curator's kind of thin frame appears in the doorway to the bathroom, his hands still secured behind his back. His face is dropped completely open in disbelief and shock. What did you do to my apartment?
Well, this maybe it will be what's left of it, but I think everything here under the roof is coming with us.
This is absurd. This is completely absurd. You can't do this. You can't get away with this. There's no way.
That's what I was thinking about, everything I saw when I came in here. It's exactly what I was thinking about you.
But I have a permit.
Okay, not in your apartment, but downstairs. Your wares. Completely illegal. We saw it. Actually, right outside here. Come, let's see. You want to take a look? I'll show you.
Do what you need to do.
You would remind him of the like there was a rifle that was like illegally modified to use Astra right outside the bathroom, right?
Maybe. I don't remember if he had anything like that in his apartment.
I thought it was where he was harboring these people that we fought, and we saw that as we passed through.
Maybe. Sure, let's go with it.
Between that and the orb he had and stuff, I believe that's why he was in handcuffs.
Yes, absolutely.
And he would just point. We'd walk over there and start looking at him. We'll start here. We'll start to look at it as the other people kind of pull themselves together. He's kind of just focused on trying to stay on mission.
So at this point, the drone has made its way inside, and you've had to file your individual reports, as well as be scanned, each one of you, retinally, to make sure that your identification is legitimate and that you are in fact Inquisitors, and that it was sanctioned for you to use the Astra-fueled abilities that you did here, as well as explain in no short order everything that happened. So you've been left now. You've been given the clearance. The rest of the officers of the CCPD have shown up to this curator's shop. They've taken him away. They've started inventorying things. They're doing a sweep of the crime scene. You've managed to get back into your cruiser and take off out into the night, back across the city. So the question is, where are you headed?
I would note that Riker probably not supposed to smoke in the cruisers, but he would definitely be smoking inside the cruiser.
Elias would just be like, not saying anything to him, but just waving in to where he didn't breathe it.
What time of the day is it? Or morning or?
It's probably midday, maybe a little bit after, but with the way that it looks here in Chrome City most of the time, it's kind of hard to tell what time it actually is because it's almost like perpetually dusk or night here.
Yeah, I need to think this over. Anybody else need a drink?
I would not mind. My head. Yeah.
A drink would sound nice right about now, actually. Yeah, I want to track those rats, but that's not going to happen.
You're thinking the tumbler, Riker? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, good a place to get a drink as any. That's when Riker would basically take the flight control stick and take it out of autopilot and manually just like dip down as the cruiser like cuts through several lanes of ongoing traffic, cutting through some of the different floating traffic lights and other hover cars, and just kind of moving through. And it's a pretty steep dip before he like levels it off. But the whole time, like he looks over at the at Ivory. What? I had the lights on.
She just looks at you, kind of shakes her head, and looks back out the other window, kind of shaking her head the whole time, kind of bouncing a little bit because she's kind of still tweaking from all the Astra.
Paul Graves, what is it that you will drink tonight?
Okay.
Something strong. Whatever you got that would be strong enough to take off a fade headache. You got anything for that? Because shit, this hurts. I haven't felt this this wired in a long time.
I did not see anyone use. I thought I was the only one.
Oh, I thought you were asking me for a drink. Like what drink I wanted.
He was asking you, what you wanted to drink, but then you brought up your headache, and I didn't see. He didn't see you use in the Astra.
Oh. But, yeah. About that. So when the bodies started, explode, they had Astra in the bloodstreams. Fate. Let's put it this way: enough mages, enough fade in the room. It's kind of hard to not soak up that mist. You know what I mean? So, yeah. At first, it didn't bother me, but after the second or third, yeah, it was so heavy in the room. It's like a fog or pollen. You can't help but breathe it in. It's been a while since I tried the real stuff, but, I just need something to cure my nerves, okay? Before I do something stupid.
Oh, well then, I'll have to cover you then. For the rest of you, you too, are you both feeling this as well?
Yeah, at this point you can see that Ivory is just kind of sitting there, just got her head kind of low back. Her eyes are closed, but her legs are just bouncing. And it's like she's not really paying attention to either you or Hargraves at this point.
Riker, he looks back and he's like, feeling what? But you can like see as he's holding his cigarette, like his hand is just like shaking. He takes a long drag. And he looks back right as these like headlights like cross across the windshield as he like veers off to the side. Fuck, that guy came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, if you were paying attention to the damn road, fucking A.
Well, I mean, fuck.
No, look.
Why is back there drilling us? Look, save the questions for the perps.
I know. Look, are you gonna be okay, Riker? Maybe you shouldn't drive. Maybe I should drive. You were freaking out something bad back there. You didn't tell me you didn't see. You didn't see her again, did you?
You see him like pause for a moment, thinking of what to say. No. Besides, we're here. And what do we see out of the rain-covered windshield of this establishment?
So as your cruiser kind of lowers down to the ground. Sorry. So as your cruiser kind of lowers down through the last remaining few levels. Damn dogs. Hang on. Sorry. Every time there's someone walking outside, he completely loses his mind. So, so you find this kind of dingy, this place that looks like it washed out of a sewer. This looks like the kind of place that filth just collected together and became a complete solid and then was ejected with water. It's just a dive, and there's no better way to put it. But outside, you see the same skull emblem that you saw on the coaster. And it says in letters that are still barely fueled with neon, the Tumbler. What would you like to do?
Ivory turns and looks at Riker. Wow, you sure know how to pick them.
What are you talking about? These are some of the best joints.
Well, I gotta take your word for that one. Because it's not looking so good.
Hargraves like steps out of the cruiser and like just sees this and has this like huge bloodied grin on his face, like as he's like soaking up the air. He takes a big whiff.
Yeah, that brings me back. feel right at home now. Yeah. Good pick, Riker.
Is no one going to help an old man?
Oh, sorry. Oh man, I almost forgot you were in here. Come on.
Our esteemed colleague parked so far from the curb.
Well, I ain't gonna carry you there if that's what you're asking, but I'll at least help you out of the... Come on. Jesus Christ. Leave me with the old man. You know, I about knocked you through the teeth earlier, so I'd really appreciate it if you just stop being so pretentious.
I told you. The first round's on the Inquisition.
Yeah. First round's on the Inquisition. I hear that all the time. Anyways, I hope you like dive bars. The Tumbler's actually a pretty good joint. Quick question though.
He looks at you up and down and sees like how regal you are as an Inquisitor in comparison to the others.
So, are you gonna... Now you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb here. You really are. Look at you. I tell you what. Hold on.
And Hargraves, like, I think if there's like a mud puddle even anywhere nearby this cruiser, he like sticks his hand into the mud and then like laps up some mud and is like, look,
You gotta look like one of us if you, don't want to stick out. So, your choice, your call. I would just suggest that you blend in, in case locals don't take kindly to you.
He'll pull his like hood up over his head and step out of the vehicle with the rain pattering it off of it, and he'll look over at Ivory and why don't you take care of this? And he'll give her whatever passes as like a glint card. It's probably like a company card or whatever.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
And one drink.
Before they walk in, Riker grabs Graves by his mechanical arm there, pulls him in. Graves, you ever mention her again, I will bust your tweaking ass.
Yeah, well, I just,
It's none of your business.
I felt like you needed a reminder.
I'm reminded every day.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to have to put down a friend, now did I? So, get your hands off me.
Yeah? Well, how you doing? Are you
Great.
good? Are you set?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you. Thank you for asking. How are you? Are you good?
Yeah.
Good, then don't ask me how I'm feeling again.
I imagine these two hard asses, nose to nose with one another, kind of simultaneously have to step over the body that's laying on the sidewalk. That is obviously somebody who had too much, got too rowdy, and was thrown out on his face, and just has decided that that's a good place to sleep it off. So you step over this individual and open this rusted steel door that kind of creaks and moans loudly as you open it. And there's a chunk of concrete on the end of a steel cable that acts as a counterweight, so that when you let go of this door, it slams shut behind you. But the noise goes almost completely unnoticed as the ruckus in this place is incredibly loud. You step into this area that you see here. It's kind of like an entryway, if you will, a foyer, if you want to get really fancy. There's a window that has no small amount of security to it. That looks like this is probably where you check in before you're allowed to actually move forward into the club proper or the bar proper. And instead of finding a person standing behind the bar like you might expect, you find a sight that might be unfamiliar to some of you. It's a Baromek, this living skeleton of metal, with kind of an astra ghost inside of it. This specter of somebody who was once alive is now inhabiting this skeletal frame. And it's dressed in these kind of draped, greasy, oily rags, but its face glows with kind of this brilliant light that is shuttered inside of this this face. And it kind of looks up from what it's doing straight at you with a little bit of whirring as it moves. Can I help you? This is your first time in a place like this, so you lost? You need directions? You're a group of mutes.
Hargraves would be probably the first to speak up, but he would give a moment of pause to see if Elias wanted to be the voice of this Inquisitor group.
I mean, in this particular case, he would be astonished by this specimen.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no, then Hargraves would totally take over. If there was a moment where Elias was just quiet, he looks to you like,
are you going to say something? You going to introduce us? Is this going to happen? All right. Okay, fine.
And I don't know how long Hargraves has been working in Chrome City, but this is obviously a slum of Chrome City, right?
Yes, you guys are in the Outage District.
Yeah,
and you're not that far from the Blackout sector.
So
yeah, this is bad.
This is definitely somewhere that Hargraves might be familiar with. Then,
maybe. As an Inquisitor, probably not so much, but maybe if you were CCPD back in the day.
Yeah. I feel like he would have probably been. He's also been sort of that like urchin spacer, sort of, kind of a cat. So he's definitely more comfortable here than anybody. Like here in this bar, or here in these slums that they've been in lately, than anywhere. Anything fancy makes him uncomfortable. Anything like slummy and dirty and gross makes him feel better.
And even if you aren't familiar with this particular bar,
you're
familiar with this bar. Like,
yeah,
it's like, hundreds of others that you've been.
Exactly.
Hey, so what you got on tap tonight?
Well, inside you can get a drink. I'm the doorman, so I'm here to check you in, make sure that you're copacetic.
Right.
Look like a bunch of cops. Are you cops? You stand like cops.
But no.
You're armed like cops.
Buddy, no. Okay, look,
Oh, great. As if my night wasn't going swell already.
Hey. Look, we just got through a very traumatic situation here. We're just looking to get a couple of drinks, have a nice night out. That's all I'm asking to do, okay? I got me and my old man here, all right? And then a couple of us all wanted to get together and have drinks, all right? That's all I wanted to do.
He kind of leans forward on the counter, kind of folding his appendages up with like a lot of squeaking. And the shutters on his light actually narrow, almost like he's squinting at you. Are you here to shake us down?
Absolutely.
Are you trying to squeeze us?
Riker just kind of like pushes past them, walks over to the bar, sits, lights a cigarette. Cut the shit. You, pour.
Once again, I'm not a bartender. Obviously, you need a drink. I would love to let you inside, but I'm not supposed to let cops in.
Look, as I said, look, buddy, I don't know what to tell you.
And obviously you can tell that Hargraves is not one of those, like, he's not charismatic. He is not at all like suave and debonair with his words. He is like, he's intimidating and very aggressive with that, like, that eye socket that's missing and like the metal arm. He looks like an imposing dude, but he's definitely not one for words. So
listen, I'm gonna ask you very nicely. I have a very exhausted old man with me and my companions. He would very much like to be able to come inside, sit down, have a drink, relax a little bit. There's going to be no shaking down, no worries about nothing. You understand?
And I think at that point, Hargraves knows how this is played. Hargraves has been in that position. He's not very good with words, but he knows that sometimes a little slight of a bribe or a, nudge in the right direction can get people to look the other way. And so if you'll allow it, I'd like for him to be talking, just him focusing on that red eye, right, of Hargraves. And as he does, you see a couple of the tinks of glint tink, 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 fall on the counter.
I mean, if you'll allow it, I'd like to make sure that my old man gets a decent table, gets to sit comfortably, rest his feet for a while. Is that possible with you?
Kind of looks down for a moment, and his shutters kind of open a little wider to illuminate it better. And he kind of nods. Oh, man, you're such a generous human being. He scrapes the coins off of the table. What was that, like 6 glint? 7 glint? That's a decent start, That's good. We're getting somewhere.
Hey, listen. Listen, you Astra Vacuum. I'm going to ask you one more time. How much? How much to get in? I mean, if it's a cover charge, I'll pay it. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a cover charge. Yeah, exactly. 50 glint.
50 fucking glint. Are you
50.
motherfucker?
One of your hands worth of fingers followed by a 0.
You were nothing more than a glorified fucking vacuum, sir. You suck so hard. You understand that?
Do you think you're any better? Look at you. You barely got one eye in your head. Listen, you want in here, I'm not supposed to let you in here. You want me to stick my neck out for you? I'm fine with doing that.
I was about to say, I don't know if you have those parts, but okay, fine. Let me go talk with my old man and see if we can negotiate something, huh?
Yeah, go get permission from your daddy.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Well, that would not be possible or something that I would consent to, officer. Go on.
He goes back over to Ivory and Elias, probably. I imagine that Ivory is probably sticking close by him.
That asshole wants 50 fucking glint as a cover charge for the 4 of us.
What did you say now?
Nothing. I just said that my old man needs a place to relax and to sit down. What the fuck was I supposed to say?
Tell him, oh, excuse me, sir, we're cops. We would like to come in and sit down and have a drink with you.
They don't allow cops in there, dumbass.
Have you tried talking to him as a gentleman?
As a gentleman? What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Would you want me to be prim and proper about bullshit?
Well, I mean, have you ever been in this situation?
No, usually I just break into the back of bars usually, but fuck, fine. You tell you what, old man, I'll walk you up and you have a conversation with little Mr.
Fucking A.
I mean, if you're this grumpy now,
Look,
imagine if
look, you want to talk to Metal Dick? Go ahead. You go ahead and talk to him.
Oh, let's see if this old man will get us somewhere.
All right, I'm gonna not so gracefully walk Elias up to meet this just pain in my ass.
What's the holdup here? Pretty thirsty.
I am too. But fucking Tin Can over here doesn't want to deal with me.
Oh, you've brought your father back. Hello, sir. How are you doing this evening?
How are you?
Oh, look at there. A question of fucking common courtesy. And he kind of squints again towards Hargraves. So
you have to forgive
Hargraves just straight up metal arm and everything.
That's an intelligent use of your muscle power.
Oh, you have to forgive these kids. How are you?
What would you say? How old am I? Or how am I?
How are you?
How are
you?
you?
How old are you? You could tell me that too if you'd like.
Senses are starting to go out a little bit. Sorry, there's loud noises. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. You know, it's been kind of a shitty day, but what's new around here? You know, since I'm not one of, well, you types seem to think that I'm built to serve you. So guess what I've been doing all day? Never mind. Did you have a question?
Oh, I was wondering, what else you do here?
Well, clean the John, for one. That's a fantastic task, let me tell you. These fine individuals that they prefer to cater to are not exactly the cleanest bunch of individuals.
If I promise you that we won't cause you any problems in that particular department, could we come in and enjoy a drink here in your establishment?
Again, like I'm sticking my neck out here, you know. I'm gonna get in trouble for it. He's gonna come down on me hard, and you know I need some compensation. Make it worth my while.
Is there a cover charge for us? I can take care of that. I was just.
Yeah,
why would you be sticking your neck out for us? I'm not asking if you would let us in for free, if that's not usual.
No, you look, you're cops. You know, it's obvious. You reek of it. Actually, reek of Astra too. You guys are getting high on duty?
We've just had a bad day. We've encountered some conflict. We just want to relax.
All right. I don't want your rap sheet or your life story. That's going to take too long. So, you got to pay the 50 glint, like I told your offspring?
Oh, 50 glint for us? Oh, yes, I can take care of that. No problem.
Wonderful. A person of means, finally. All right. He'll take the 50 glint from you. Kind of he deals with it. He says, "Oh, and good luck in there, by the way. I don't know what kind of barfly that you slept with in order to produce that, but I would stay away from the ones in here, lest it happen again." And he kind of presses the door to buzz you guys into the next part of the bar. Good night, Junior.
Is there a place to put my coat?
Oh, yes, of course. Coat. What's this guy? Is that mud? The hell? And he kind of reaches out. He'll take the coat from you. Like several pairs of these, like pincher-style arms come out and take it. Start hanging it on a hanger. Put it back behind the cage.
He'll slide some glint across the like podium or whatnot that he has by him.
Excellent. So you guys step into the bar proper, and it's again, I mean, it's a dive. There's people everywhere. There's smoke probably from 4 feet down from the ceiling. If you've ever been in a bowling alley in the 80s or 90s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's just this thick gray haze that kind of permeates the upper portion of the room. And here, it's probably actually laced with a little bit of color occasionally from people using fade. And if you've ever been in a bar that's not exactly clean, there's not just the smell of the alcohol that they're serving, but of the alcohol that's just soaked in to a place over the years. That kind of stagnant alcohol smell. This is definitely that kind of place, as well as a few other scents that are probably reaching your nose occasionally. And there's a bartender on one side who looks like he's overworked, tired, overweight, and all manner of people kind of spread out here. Everybody, if you would, please roll me perception checks. Okay. So far, Ivory.
Mine's in Facebook Messenger.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hop over there and check that out. Okay, cool. So Ivory and Elias and Hargraves. So everybody except for Riker. When you enter this place, you see everything that I described before. It's very much kind of a busy place, but there is an individual kind of off to the side, close to one of the corners, that catches your attention. He definitely looks like he's not exactly the average punk that's kicking around this place. He looks like he not necessarily runs this joint or owns it, but he's probably the strongest presence in the room. He's kind of leaning back with his boots up on the table. But Ivory, there's no mistaking that orange eye. This is not the first time you've seen this individual, though it's been a while. How is Ivory handling this?
So, to the people who are standing right next, next to her, you can feel that she immediately goes rigid, and the shaking and the twitching that she had been doing, it just kind of stops, and she's completely still. And then you can see that she's reaching for her gun, and she's got this look in her eye as if she could kill somebody, and she is going to pull out her gun and start stalking straight towards that guy. Unless anybody stops her.
Nobody doing anything about this as they see Ivory begin to stalk across the room, weapon in hand?
I think Hargraves would. Hargraves looks to you, Ivory, and then like as you're pacing toward it, you feel that metal arm like grab onto the nape of near the nape of your neck, right? Like grab just the back of your collar.
Hold on now. What exactly? Where are you running off to?
Get your hand off me!
Hey,
That guy killed my partner.
Hey. All right, look. You shouldn't go alone, though. Could have just said something. I'm not gonna stop you, but you're not going alone. All right? Look. And put the gun down. Don't just go guns blazing, shooting them in the fucking face in public. What's wrong with you? You want to do this right? Do it right.
What is going on over here? But the point was to be inconspicuous.
I did too. Sorry.
No, you're both wrong. The point was to get a drink. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yes. Look, don't worry about it, you two. I'll go with her. We're gonna listen, and not gonna just fucking be smart. All right, I may be old, but I'm smart. A lot of shit happened, and I'm smarter than people think I am. Come on, I'll watch your back. I'll
I need
take
the card for those drinks. But this doesn't seem like the place to use it.
Yeah, Ivory would hand you the card back. And she's like, take Riker, go get drinks.
Babysitting. Very well.
And Hargraves does go off with Ivory. They kind of split off in the bar. You two go to get drinks, and we're going to go get closer to this individual without just going guns blazing. I think we're going to stalk him and investigate it.
So yeah, as soon as Elias and Riker turn and go to the bar, she turns to you and she's just shaking, just madder than shit. And she's like, he's the one. He caused it. He blew up everybody. He's the reason Riker's wife is dead. He's the reason everything happened. This guy has got to pay.
That guy, huh? So he did it, huh? Okay. How do you know? You recognize him, I could tell, but I mean, look, not very many people have, well, I hope not many people have, astra eyes. So, just gonna point it out. I got one. He's got one. But I just want to make sure we're making the right decision before we go and try to, The point is, we have a bigger thing going on in the city, and you know that. We can't put ourselves in harm's way here. All right? Now, the smart play is to observe and listen first. I know you're going to think that, shut up, old man, you don't know what you're talking about, but I promise I do.
Jesus, this guy ruined everything. He's the reason I'm doing this stupid beat in the first place.
Well, what do you want to do, Ivory? You explain it, I will follow. What do you want to do? Tell me you want to shoot fucking astral bolt through his face.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Fair enough. All right, fine. I'll observe. I'll watch. You do what you want. I'm not going to hold your hand. You're a grown girl, and you got probably better marksmanship than everybody in this goddamn place. So, yeah. Just, if you're going to do it, make it quiet, huh? That's all I'm going to say.
Jesus, man. She looks at you, she looks down, she's had a little chance to calm. Riker can't know. This'll kill him.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying we need to do this quietly. If you really want to do this, we got to do it quietly.
What do you suggest?
Well,
and he personally has a modification for his own carbine that is a wraith muzzle. And you see him pull his I don't know if they like check guns at the door. They probably don't here. But
no, it wasn't even mentioned.
Wasn't even mentioned. So like they he like gingerly pulls it out and he lays it on. Like I imagine they like slip into a booth. You know, if there's a booth or something that's close by to where this guy is, they slip into a booth somewhere. Right?
Sure.
And
absolutely.
Like, he just gingerly pulls off this wraith muzzle off of the end of the carbine. And he slides it across the little table over to her.
You got a pulser that can use that?
Is it a light pistol?
I mean, yeah, it's a modification that could effectively. It makes it so that you can shoot a weapon like undetected and quiet within a certain range. It's like, let me take a look, but I'm pretty sure it's like the wraith muzzle, if you attach it to a weapon, does wraith muzzle, here we go. It is a weapon can fire completely undetected by creatures who aren't within 10 feet of it. So if you fire it further than 10 feet away. So how big is this room? How big is this bar?
It's probably roughly 50 by 50.
50 by 50. So as long as we're at a table that is at least with that isn't within 10 feet and he can't see it, you could effectively attach that to your weapon and fire the gun undetected. And I'm just giving that to you as a temporary thing. So in case you didn't have it already, that's
That's you can use this. I would do it, but since you seem to desperately want to do this, Hargraves isn't one to get dirt on his hands if he doesn't have to. So he's like, all right, girl, you can try it if you want, but my red eye isn't gonna look. All right, like I'm not gonna look in that direction. You do it if you want, but I'm just here to observe, not report.
So Ivory will take the muzzle and she'll start putting on her pistol, and she's looking around, trying to make sure that, they're not being seen, that that the guy is, kind of oblivious to what's going on at this point. Who's around him?
There's quite a few people. It's one of those kind of corner booths where they have an extra large table. There's probably 8 individuals that are within the vicinity that would hear the shot, even though it's muzzled.
Yeah, so Ivory is kind of looking around, and she looks at Hardy. She's like, I know it seems kind of funny to call them this, but there's too many innocents here. Last time this guy was in a shootout, people died. If I miss, everybody here is dead.
Yep. So you want to wait? You want to follow him? You want to track him? We can do that too.
Let's do that. That seems like a better plan.
All right, and he will. He'll look to you as if you expecting you to like hand the muzzle back, but then when you don't, he's like okay with it. You know what I mean? Like if you weren't to do that, he would be okay with it because he knows how much you want to do the shooting, and he'd be like, I'm fine with that if you needed to, and he would nod, and then I think the best thing for them to do is probably sit at a booth, like move up and sit at a booth that is close by so we can listen to what his plans are to move. And then if he leaves the bar, then follow to go do something in like a back alley or something.
Meanwhile, at the bar where Elias and Riker have shown up, they've managed to finally get the bartender to come over to them, serve them drinks. What are they drinking?
Riker would be basically drinking it straight, no ice. Definitely would say no ice, and just the strongest, probably turpentine in a bottle kind of alcohol.
Elias would try to impress him and order the same exact thing, but his would be on the rocks. Probably heavily to help him like water it down in order to be able to swallow it.
So you see where you've positioned yourself at the bar. You can see where it is that Ivory and Hargraves have sat at this table, not far from the individual that she was talking about.
Yeah, as the bartender pours the 2 drinks, starts to go away, Riker just kind of grabs the bottle, sets it back down on the bar, shoots the first one, pours another one, sees Elias nursing his, looks back over his shoulder. What do you think they're doing? Hitting up some past perp? Kind of really not serving our purpose here.
What caused you to want to come to this particular establishment? That's the real question. And I'd like you to answer.
I've heard some things about this place, and I needed a drink, so here we are.
Don't let it go to your head. I'm sure you can handle yourself. That's why you're here on this team. I hope that's why they're here, is to glean something from your peers. I'll pay for your drinks, but that bottle, that's on you.
I don't need you to pay for me. It's fine. Look,
We've had a rough day together. At least I can do.
yeah. Shoots down another one, pours a third. Look, if you're gonna drink with me, you're gonna need a drink. Can't just sit there and hold the glass.
Let me, I'm gonna go make room. I'll be back.
Riker just
Yeah,
kind of
fine.
nods.
Gonna try and find the restroom. His head's kind of pounding, and you might notice when he leaves the glass that there was blood in it, and there was blood kind of running from his nostrils. And he's kind of wiping at it, so he's gonna go try to freshen up, as it were.
After some time, this man in the corner, he stands up, and for those of you who have never seen him standing before, you can see he's quite tall. He's probably about 6'9", and he's decently stocky as well. I mean, he's a pretty large individual, and he walks over to the bar and actually goes behind the bar, fiddles around for a bit. And as he's coming back, he's walking past the table where Hargraves and Ivory are sitting. And he kind of slows down as he passes and kind of looks at Ivory. And he kind of starts to walk past the table entirely before he kind of stops and comes back half a step. And he kind of leans down real far over the table so that his face is looking straight at Ivory's. And he says, "You look familiar. Do I know you from somewhere?"
And she looks at him without even flinching. No, I think I would have recognized you if I'd seen you before.
Yeah. My charming good looks, no doubt. Huh? And he kind of shuts the eye off for a second and back on, almost like a wink. Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt your date or anything. Nice hardware. He kind of looks at Hargraves for a second.
Thanks. You too. Was that like a version 1? Version 2?
It's a version 6.
Version 6? I didn't even know they made Eisen 6. Fuck. I'm just an old man. What do I know, right? Hey, let me ask you a question. What you drinking there?
This, it's a gin and tonic.
Gin
I
and
like
tonic.
to keep a straight head, keep it light.
Yeah.
In case trouble comes knocking, and he kind of knocks his fist on the door on the table twice as he kind of looks to one to the other of you.
Right. And as he knocks his fist on the table, Hargraves raises his metal arm.
Yeah. In case trouble comes knocking.
As he like thuds it against the table and grins back at you.
He kind of laughs.
You, look. You just, that's my girl there. So, you can just, keep walking, yeah?
Easy, junkyard dog.
You call me that again, then maybe we should go outside. See whose bark is bigger, huh?
What's your problem, man? You roll in here. You reek of not belonging. I come over and try to be polite, and you threaten me.
I just...
Here?
Maybe I just don't like your type. You know. You're not my type. I'm sorry.
I know. You thought you got an eye, I got an eye. We're like brothers. Something. I don't know what it is. I just there's just something about you, you know?
You're not my brother, little doggy.
I know. So I'm gonna ask you nicely. We're just trying to enjoy our night. You know, get a couple drinks, just relax. We had a hard day. You too, obviously. So.
You look like you need a fix. I can arrange it for you if it'll chill you the fuck out.
You know somebody, huh? They might be able to. That's very nice of you.
I'm a nice guy.
Did you hear this? No, you can fix me up with something. You're a very nice guy. You really are. What's your name?
The name's Kineas.
Kineas. That's a nice name.
My mother was a saint. What can I say?
I'd say something, but then I feel like I'd offend you, so I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna say it anyways. I mean, if your mother was a saint, I mean, you would kind of look like a demon. So I'm just saying, I'm not sure exactly how much she was involved, and
Kind of leans in. He says, "I didn't say nothing about my father, but you're right. There's a reason I look like a demon. And you don't know the name Kineas, then you're not from around here. And you're playing it real dumb right now.
What can I say?
You knew who I was. You wouldn't be smart enough to me.
What can I say? You can ask lots of people. You can ask anybody. I'm kind of a hardhead, kind of a dumbass when it comes to just getting to know people.
Let me put it this way. You wouldn't be the first cop that I put in the ground.
Who said anything about me being a cop? I didn't say that. Did you say that? Did you say that? I didn't say that.
The doorman told me. He tells me everything. What is Ivory doing during this? Just out of curiosity.
Ivory is sitting still. She's staring at the guy between him and Hargraves, depending on who's kind of speaking. But she's mainly focused on him, this Kineas. And she's got her hands under the table, and she's near the gun, so that at any point she can just if she needs to, she will draw and fire on this guy. So she's kind of waiting, but she's trying not to give out that energy that she is ill at ease at all. And just kind of watching these two, fight with words.
I'll tell you what. You drink your drinks. And if there's no further business that we have with each other, then maybe another establishment would be better.
I did have a question for you. You said you could, you had a connection? A fix? If the guy wanted that, where exactly would he go?
Well, if there was business of that nature that needed to take place, I'd give you an address. And when you show up and they ask where you got this address, you just give them my name. Let them know that we're acquaintances.
Yeah, I very much like that address. It's been a hard night.
And he like leans in. He pulls you a little closer, and he leans in.
Look, I don't want my daughter knowing that I got a problem. So, how about this? How about you meet me outside later, and we can exchange that address outside. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Don't want her thinking Daddy has a fade problem.
Mister, I wasn't born yesterday. I'm not stepping out into no nasty alley to do any business. We do business here. If your daughter needs to go use the bathroom, then so be it. Your discretion's not important to me. Your glint is.
He looks you up and down.
Smarter than I thought. All right, fine. Yeah, I'll take that address though.
Yeah, just let me get my little black book. And he kind of turns, kind of backing away from the table, and turns to head back to where he was seated before.
At that moment, while he's gone, I look to Ivory.
What the fuck do you want me to do? I'm trying here. For you. Understand? I'm trying here.
I don't have a good feeling about this. And Ivory is going to stand up, and it looks like she's about to leave. She's taken this opportunity while his back is turned to maybe move a little further away from him than they are right now. She doesn't trust him at this point, and she is not liking what's going on.
Is she headed to the bar or to the restroom or just elsewhere?
Whereabouts is the restroom from here?
It's probably across the bar, on the back wall.
Is there an exit?
Yeah, I mean it's the kind of thing where you enter a hallway, and the men's room branches off. One of the doors off the hallway, and then the women's restrooms further down.
Yeah, and if there's an exit door like out the back, that's exactly where she would head.
Okay.
I think she's going towards the bathroom still, but there's a clear getaway.
Yes, yeah, there absolutely is some kind of fire exit. It's somewhat blocked by boxes and things, illegally, of course, but it wouldn't take much to get past them. Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
Riker would notice and he's going to try to kind of sneakily approach their position.
Where Hargraves is sitting?
Yeah, just kind of like
Okay.
wanting to get closer, so one, he can overhear, and then two, if he needs to be a backup, he can, drop in.
Yeah, absolutely. Hargraves, Riker comes over and lowers himself into the chair that Ivory had just left vacant.
Hey. You get your drink? You didn't bring me one? The hell, man?
He holds up the bottle, and it's probably there's like a quarter left in it.
And if there's a glass that maybe he had, because I imagine that like bartenders being passed by, they've whatever, come and gone, whatever, and he's probably got like a half drink glass there, and at that point he like holds it out for you to like refill or retop it or whatever, and
he says, so what were you and the old man talking about?
He doesn't seem like he can hold his liquor.
I didn't think so. Just between you and me, guy on the other side of the bar, back that way, back in the corner. Don't fucking look him directly. All right? But look, Ivory says she knows him. I don't know how, but Ivory says she knows him.
Like what? Busted him or something? What does that have to do with the case that we're on?
I don't fucking know. She didn't say anything. She just, look, when we came in here, she almost fucking made a beeline for him. You fucking better be glad that I even just stopped her ass from. Jesus Christ. Look, he's gonna come back over here in a minute. We should just pretend like you and I, just pretend. I don't know what you want to do. But pretend like we were having just a normal, jovial conversation or some shit. Remember back when we used to, work together and shit? Just, let's just do that for a bit. Just play a bit. When Ivory gets back, we'll just, I don't know. We'll make some shit up. But I don't trust this dude as much as I can fucking punch his eyeball out. That's what I want to do. But never mind.
You can see he's reapproaching the table now. He walks back up, and he kind of flicks a card, about the size of a business card, but it's not paper. It's this glancer. It's real small. He says, "Yeah, there you go. Remember, just give him my name, Canaeus Ister. Hargraves."
Nice.
Hargraves, will you tell me what you know of this name? Because you may not have recognized the face, but the name you know. It's a name that you've studied for some time now.
What? Sorry, you broke up there for a minute.
Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me? Is it still breaking up?
I hear you.
Okay. So, yeah, this name that you've studied for some time, probably with no small amount of malice. It's a name you've searched for.
a name that I would know a little bit of.
Sorry, did I say Hargraves? Sorry, I meant Riker.
Can I assist her?
Riker is the one who recognizes it.
Oh, so you're saying, what do I know of this name?
Like I said, it's one that you've hunted for a long time. Probably you've had no small amount of hatred.
I would say as soon as the name, like he heard the name, I can see Riker like slides his the sleeve of his overcoat to the side, and there's like his little personal assistant thing, and he like just immediately like punches in the name and does a search on the database, which I'm sure would come up with like this guy's picture and rap sheet. Or do you want me to roll like a history or?
No. I don't actually even know that you would have to punch this name in. This is the name of the individual who was responsible for the shootout that led to the death of your wife and child. It's believed that he was the one who actually shot them as he fired randomly into the crowd to get away from two CCPD officers who were chasing him.
Yeah, I would imagine Riker, immediately his hand goes to his pulsar sidearm as his hand just rests on the handle, not wanting to give his position away at the moment. He's just sitting there, just kind of like hunched over, slumped over, as if like the alcohol is taking full effect, and he's just kind of sitting there like, kind of.
Okay. So yeah, he has dropped this card on the table and has reiterated his name to make sure that you know what it is you're supposed to tell his other half, his compatriot, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will. Thanks. I'll do that.
He kind of leans in and he says, "Now, when you're done with your drinks, you and all your kids," and he kind of looks at Riker, "why don't you collect your family reunion here and find a different place to haunt? You're spooking me out."
I mean, I know I'm ugly, but come on. Really? I'm that bad? I mean, that's just rude. Kicking a man out because he's ugly. Come on.
Y'all, you folks have a good night. Be safe. And he kind of taps on the table again in the same manner as before. And he walks away. Kind of.
As he starts to walk away, that's when Riker would stand, the chair falling back behind him. That audible sound of the pulsar rifle charged, as you hear that audible click as he points it directly behind him. "I've got you now, you son of a bitch."
And that's where we're going to take our 10-minute break. So thank you, everybody who has been tuning in. Not obviously this evening, but at some point in the future. Stick around and give us about 5 to 10 minutes. we will be back and we will wrap up the second part of this tense situation.
Dude, this is nuts. Just gonna say, this is so awesome.
I am back from outer space. Hopefully everybody is having a phenomenal evening or day or whatever it is whenever you're watching this.
Wow. That first part was so tense, and I felt like at a certain point Hargraves was just rambling to try to like stall for time, like,
somebody help me out here. I don't want to have to kill this asshole, but I will kill this asshole. If somebody just gives me a signal, I'm gonna do it.
There are some assholes that are just asking for it.
You know, I'll do it if I have to. I don't really want to, but I will.
Yeah, it was funny whenever I had saved that picture some time ago for Harbinger. When I was going through pulling pictures for NPCs and stuff for this campaign, I came across that one, and I nabbed it as a possibility. And then whenever I was going back, actually picking names and what roles they were going to fill and that kind of stuff, I came across it again, and you had already chosen your character.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's great. There will be like this, like,
Hey, buddy. Hey, you got that version 6 though. Damn. God, I wish I had a version 6. This is a version 2. I couldn't afford that. I'm a slum dog. I ain't got that version 6 money yet. But damn, you do. Good for you. Good for you.
You know, that under the table money, it's tax free.
That tax-free under the table version 6 money that I ain't seeing for. I got that Inquisitor paycheck. They don't give me those. I gotta wait until my pension drops to get that Inquisitor money.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
I'm gonna go close my door real quick and then I'll be good.
Excellent. Give everybody just a couple more minutes to get back. They wander in from wherever they may roam. We may not get through everything that I had planned.
I was looking at it and I'm like, yeah, I feel like that first half ran a little long with our banter, but I'm okay with it because the banter was awesome. I had a lot of fun with that. And then, like, I'm just excited for what you have planned in the back half of this. These characters are so good. So much fun.
Yeah, I love running pretty much any of the settings that I work with. I love giving it to players who really understand the setting, the tone, the genre, what it's based on. You know, that they get that and they help to elevate that, like you guys are doing. It's so much fun to kind of see the setting come to life that way. And again, like, you guys gave me a lot of really good upfront background information for your characters, and I'm glad that we spent the time doing the rumors and the what background choices you guys made and all that kind of stuff, because it gives me so much stuff to mess with to pull the strings of you guys as players.
One of the things that, like, I noticed today, just because when we did the first game, I was like super sick. I was like, oh shit, I don't think I can do I don't think I can hit that gravelly Hargraves voice right now because I'm not nearly that, like, let's be death, you know. Hold on for a minute. I'm gonna walk away, smoke my very first cigarette ever, and then I'm gonna come back and be like, gargle.
It's like Kathleen Turner in here.
It's like Kathleen Turner.
Oh, two Chads. Two Chads.
You broke me. Sorry, buddy.
Mhm.
Oh my.
Kathleen Turner breaks everybody. Okay, cool. And Alan and Karen are both back. Cool. So that is everybody. All right. And so we return to As the World Turns. But first, I'm going to make my face disappear. Poof. Okay. Riker, you have gotten to your feet quickly and leveled your pulsar at the back of this man's head. Angled up for you quite a bit, is, like I said, he's probably 6'9", 6'10". But he freezes as soon as he hears that sound, and his hands kind of go up to either side, raised to about shoulder level. Oh. I don't know if there's any reason to start whipping out our weapons.
I'll give you 2 reasons. Their names are Lydia and Maddie.
I don't know them. Those names don't mean anything to me.
They meant something to me.
Do I know you? He starts to kind of turn around.
He lets him, so he can look him in the eye.
Yeah, he'll turn fully around. His hands still kind of up by the sides of his shoulders. You know, you do look kind of familiar. I've seen a few cops in my day, and he kind of chuckles, but he says it loud enough that several of the people in the booth behind him where he was seated have taken notice of the situation. But, your face, wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know who you are. I remember whenever you started causing trouble as a cop. You, a loose cannon, I think is what the papers kept calling you. A little bit of psychological trouble, I think is what they said. You're still working as a cop?
No. And he moves his gun down to his upper thigh, and he's going to loose a round into his leg, non-lethally.
Okay. You fire your gun, and the place erupts around you. People kind of unsure at first what the noise was, but very quickly figuring it out. Most of the people in the immediate vicinity of where this is happening try to get up and run or jump to the floor. The bullet goes through his leg, and he screams and howls and goes down on one knee, kind of clutching above the thigh.
Riker moves in. I'm an Inquisitor now, you fuck.
Inquisitor? Oh, that makes sense. You go psycho, they give you a fucking upgrade. That's just like the cops. That makes perfect sense. Oh, fuck.
Graves, drag this piece of shit out into the alley.
I got a better idea. He reaches up and backhands you, Riker. What's your armor class?
My armor class is 15.
Okay. And he makes contact with you. You are going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. And I need you to make a strength saving throw, if you would, please.
All right. That would be a nat 20. So with my bonus 21.
Excellent. Okay. So you kind of reel back from this hand that collides with your jaw, but you manage to keep your ground and not fall backwards, as what hit your jaw was not flesh and bone. There was the feeling of steel behind this sleeve and glove. Everybody, if you would please, go ahead and roll initiative.
And would I think that that's like just a part of would I think he's modded, or would I think that's just like his whatever he's wearing?
No, it definitely was not the clothing that did it. Your guess is that he's got a modification that he hasn't shown.
All right. Yeah, so Riker, I mean, he would like spit blood, and then he'd be like, and he would just kind of say out loud, not yell, but loud enough that his companions can hear, he's modded.
At this point, Hargraves like looks to you, Riker, and just like holding the bridge of his nose, like, son of a bitch, these kids, these fucking children, they do not know what the hell they're doing. And he begrudgingly like moves the table away from like the booth area and stands up and gets next to Riker. He looks back to see if Elias is, around, if God help Elias, if he got trampled by those who were running out after the gunshot, but he stands side by side with Riker like, you sure you want to do this, kid? Fine. You want to. He raises the carbine up and like just protectively at Chrome Dome here.
Yeah. So right before you're actually able to go, however, Ivory apparently is fastest to react. So let's go ahead and get her turn.
So Ivory, from her vantage point down the hall towards the washroom, she's kind of been watching what's going down, waiting for whatever. When Riker came over, she was a little bit wary of what was going to happen. And then when this all went down, she was quick on the draw, and she's got that muzzled gun, and she is going to shoot the big guy.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. He is currently down on one knee, so there is a smaller presented target, so he will have partial cover, unless you are not caring about hitting people in between you.
No, I'm going to care about hitting people, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll have a little bit of a cover bonus, but go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay, now I have the feature Traverser, which says the first turn of combat, get advantage on attack rolls if they have not yet acted.
Excellent.
Would that be considered here?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, he did swing, but it was kind of the surprise round, so I'm fine with it applying here.
Okay. Then the to hit.
Oh no. The suspense.
I think she was going to say 15, but
Now we'll never know.
we'll never know.
Until she gets back in here.
Yeah, hold up. Yeah, dude. This is
Let
exciting.
me roll a 1. I think
That's
what
it.
happens.
Like, so I rolled a 1 on my damage.
No. The fact that she's not bouncing back is not a good sign.
Oh, there we go. We're good.
Sorry about that. My my paper hit the end call button.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
my
I did not hear the result.
24.
Oh yes, that will absolutely hit him.
Would he be considered surprised?
From your attack, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So this, I have the spell, the feature takedown, so it's considered a crit.
All right.
Nice.
Talk it to him.
How do you do crits?
You roll up all of your damage, and then you double it. So even sneak attack and any of that kind of business.
Do not have sneak attack, so it's just the. I just have a light pistol, so it's a D8.
Okay.
So that would be 5 doubled would be 10.
Okay. So he takes 10 points as this shot doesn't ring out. Yeah. Just all of a sudden, he kind of rolls half a step backwards as his shoulder kind of explodes in like this red mist as this bullet from nowhere kind of penetrates it. And he kind of calls out again, "Ah! Fucking kill these fuckers! Get them!" Hargraves, you're up.
Yeah. Hargraves is like no stranger to bar fights. He's no stranger to like anything that has to deal with aggression or just straight up brutality. So he's just like,
You realize, fucking A.
and I think at that point, instead of the traditional like letting them just barrage him with that, he takes the table that they were sitting at, kicks at it to slide it in front of them like a barrier, right? And then draws up his carbine. And instead, usually it would have that wraith muzzle on it. Doesn't have that anymore. And so there's just this like booming Astra of these rounds that are coming off, and he's gonna fire off a round at hopefully the I'd like to fire it off at the big guy, but if it's better for me to, I'd like to try and take down maybe some of his minions so we don't have as many guns firing on us.
Absolutely. There are certainly other individuals, some at the table that he was at, and as well as in other places kind of scattered throughout, that are definitely drawing weapons and seem like they're intending on joining this soiree.
All right. So as one of them is about to pick up a weapon and fire it, I'm going to try to shoot them back down. And that is a 17 to hit.
Absolutely. And these guys are, in fact, minions.
Right.
So they only have 1 hit point.
So
describe what it looks like.
Okay, yeah. So as one of the guys comes up to fire,
He goes, "Sit back down, you asshole."
and
it's like not even 2 seconds. It goes past the ear of Kineas and maybe rips off a little bit of flesh on Kineas's ear, and then blasts a hole in the hand of one of the guys from behind him.
Don't move if you know what's good for you.
Yeah, he kind of says, not knowing what's good for me is how I end up where I am now. He stands up and reaches up with his hand and grabs the shoulder that was shot. He grabs the coat and rips the arm of the coat off. And as he does so, Hargraves, you can see that, in fact, the eye is not the only modification that he has. That his entire arm appears to be some kind of necrotech, some kind of very top shelf technology. And with this arm, he reaches down and picks up a table, one of these bar tables that's probably 3 feet across and round, but it has this metal pole with this kind of cross brace stand on the bottom. He picks it up as if it was nothing, brings it up above his head, and then slams it down on you where where you're hiding behind this table. And as he does so, he kind of yells, "Ah, come here, cockroach." But the table is going to protect you as this metal pylon embeds probably 2 feet down into the tabletop that you're hiding behind and gets stuck. Frustrated, he lets go of it and reaches down by his side where his long coat has been covering a weapon down at his hip. And he draws this blade and activates the surface of it. And magenta astra crackles to life all along its length with a humming, buzzing noise. And he scoots the table aside and swings it down at you for another attempt, Hargraves. Does a 15 hit you?
Nope.
Excellent. Oh, you got a 16. Excellent. So, whatever armor it is that you're wearing, he slams this into you, and luckily it glances off of this protective layer that you have and instead crackles with energy as it hits the floor and leaves like a pretty significant little rut. His friends around the room have drawn their weapons. Several of them have heavy pistols. Each one of you, essentially, aside from Hargraves, is going to have a thug with a pistol shooting at you. So first up, we have Ivory. Does a 16 hit you, Ivory?
Yes.
Okay. So this heavy pistol fires in response to your action and is going to deal 10 points of piercing damage to you. The one at Riker is going to miss wildly. And then lastly, the one at Elias also misses wildly. The rest of them seem to be trying to make their way across the room to close with you as they're brandishing axes. Riker, you're up.
All right. Yeah, so Riker is focused on his target at hand. His pulsar begins to glow with red astra. And I imagine like he's like firing, and it's like chipping a table, some sort of chair or booth, as he's like just trying to hit this guy. And he sets up the aim. And let me roll it here. 20 modded.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Okay, that's going to be 14 piercing.
Okay. Yeah, he takes the shot, and it staggers him back. He kind of falls backwards into another table, and the table kind of collapses underneath of him. But he's certainly still in this fight.
And I will use my... Oh, nope, I don't have that yet. Okay. That'll be my turn.
Okay. So that brings us to Elias.
The old man would be peeking out from the restroom hallway, hearing these shots firing out. How many individuals are there aside from my colleagues?
So you have the 4 Inquisitors, the 4 of you, this individual, Caneus, and then there are 6 other individuals who seem armed and ready to stand with this criminal. 4 of them have pistols, heavy pistols drawn, and the other 2 have chipper's axes.
You would take his arm and slam it on the wall, and it would start to split down the middle and then separate. And then his short scatter gun would be down the center of his forearm, and he would come out to take aim at and see that these people are shooting at the other Inquisitors, and take aim on the back of the closest one and try to shoot at him. For 22.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, these guys are minions, so they only have 1 hit point.
Oh, all right.
So you can go ahead and describe it.
He just takes a pump of a shot of the short scatter gun, and it just hits and sprays the guy in his back and kind of flings him forward as he falls face forward. And it's just smoking from his hand as he goes to aim it, but he's got to reload.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy kind of had staggered forward, flung forward into another table, and hit the end of it, and the table just kind of flipped over, flinging, glasses and bar food all over the place. All right. That brings us back around to the top with Ivory.
So, seeing all these other people brandishing weapons, she's going to turn her attention to a couple of them, and she's going to shoot one with the silenced gun and draw and shoot another one with her other gun. So the main attack, that would have been a 26 to hit with the silenced one, and a 19 to hit with the other one.
Both. And yeah, if these were both the thugs, then this will take both of them down.
Yeah, she was aiming for the guys that have the guns.
Okay, excellent. So, yeah, go ahead and describe what it looks like as you take the amount of shooters in the room down to just 1.
Yeah, so from the hallway, Ivor kind of steps out, and she's got both guns kind of level out in front of her, and she's like, it's almost like simultaneously, she just kind of whips out, goes, shoot, shoot. Kind of like looking straight ahead, but her guns are facing different directions. It's like, how does she do that? But she's got them.
Absolutely. Equilibrium and shit. Gun combat. So, yeah, Ivory just strodes forward with the confidence of a warrior, and adds to the body count. That brings us to Hargraves.
Okay. Hargraves is gonna. I think he's kind of locked in battle right now, right? With Caneus. And it's like these two brooding old assholes just fighting each other. It's like holding it. I don't know. How would you want to describe this, Jeremy? Like, I imagine like he came at me, right? And that was how he cut me across the front here. And so maybe I like pushed him back with the butt of my gun, right? And it's just the two of these two like locked back and forth in battle. And I'm going to try and shoot twice in his chest if I can. I'm going to try to get 2 shots to the chest, and that's going to be a, let's see, 18 and a 20-something to hit for both. Yeah, for both of those.
Yes, both of them will absolutely land.
All right, and then, oh, cool, man. So both of them are going to be max damage, which is awesome. So that'll be 10 plus, so 14 damage each. Because it's a D10 plus, I should have a D10 plus 4. Yeah, D10 plus 4.
So both of these land kind of in his abdomen or gut, and he staggers backwards, kind of, but he still has light left in him. He still's got fight left in him.
Listen, you asshole. I don't want to have to kill you if I don't have to.
You're gonna die here.
You have an opportunity to stand down. Do you understand me?
Fuck you! He reaches down and throws a table straight at you, lifting it as if it were nothing once again. Is an 18 hit you?
18 is definitely going to hit me.
Okay. This chair comes flying at you and is going to smash kind of into you for 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And he's right behind it, kind of using that to throw you somewhat off guard. He jumps forward once again with this this glowing sword and brings it down at you. Does a 16 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. So this blade makes contact. You take 11 points of slashing damage, as well as when the lightning along the blade crackles down into the wound, 2 points of lightning. And in addition, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay, hold on. So how much damage was that? Just so I can calculate and keep it on the board.
It was 11 points of slashing and 2 points of lightning.
So 13.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Daddy cut me deep. All right, fine.
And a dexterity saving throw, you said?
Okay, yes, sir.
Which one? I'm going to use my at 20 die. Let's see what comes up. Not bad, not bad. Okay, that's going to be an 18.
Excellent. Okay. So you manage to, even though the weapon damage, the weapon hit and it hit squarely, you managed to avoid the secondary possibility that this weapon almost inflicted upon you. He kind of tries to pick up a little bit of a broken piece of a table, almost as a shield, but he's just not quite there yet. He's having to lean down, and that leg being shot is not helping things. His thugs, however, the one remaining shooter, is going to round on Ivory. Now that she's presented herself as a very very high level of concern, of a concern. An 18 to hit. Yes, okay. Man. For 9 points of piercing damage. The two that have axes drawn, both have been closing across the floor. They're going to close with Riker. And both of them, as they do so, as they get closer, they kind of strike their axes on tables as they're passing. And when they do so, Magenta Astra kind of encompasses the blades of the axe. Okay. A 21, I think, is probably going to hit Riker.
Yeah, 15 is my AC.
Okay, 15. All right. The first one is going to do 4 points of slashing. The other, okay, also hit. And is going to be 7 points of slashing as they very, very quickly stand on either side of you, flanking you, and then start working in concert with each other very well to distract you while the other one comes in for an attack. Riker, that brings us to your turn.
So yeah, Riker moving, trying to like dodge out of the way of these axes, but obviously they kind of like cut in, slice across his thin protective armor. So like deep cuts, like whoosh, go across the chest, maybe an arm, and since they're in close quarters, he is going to go full like Metal Gear Solid and do some close quarters combat, as he's going to go in and like take them down. So he kind of like, he's still holding his gun, but he'll move in and then, you know, just kind of like perform takedown moves. So the first one, he'll move in, get like right underneath his arm, and with his leg behind his and his elbow pressed to his chest, he will like force him through a table as he slams him into the ground. So that'll be his first attack. And just all right, so that's a 15 for the first hit.
Absolutely.
All right.
And again, these guys only having the 1 hit point, you can choose to either kill them or disable them from the fight, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, so this one, like I said, he just like pretty much throws him down into a table. The table smashes into splinters, and the guy just kind of like passes out from the blow. The next guy, from there, he just kind of like tumble rolls up into the next guy and proceeds to like get within his personal space there, and he like pushes his elbow up to like break his arm, and then throws him over his shoulder into the ground. And I'm going to use my what's it called? It's basically action surge. I forget what it's called in.
Okay, yeah.
In Harbinger. So I'll spend that, get back some health, and
the second wind.
Second wind, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I meant. Okay, 16, which I assume is the same, and since they're a minion, so yeah, same thing. Breaks his arm, throws him over, That guy pretty much passes out too from the blow. And then when he rounds about, he levels his gun back at the main bad guy here. And that'll be my turn.
Yeah, so this the first one smashes through this table. The second kind of flies into this booth where he kind of lands halfway on the table, halfway upside down in the booth itself. And that only leaves Kineas and one shooter, one additional thug left. And Elias, it is your turn.
Now, there's just one. What about the bionic eye?
Yes, Kineas is still kicking, and then just the one other thug.
I guess that I'm gonna have to, while I wait for this arm to be reloaded, I'm gonna instead slam the other arm against the other another wall, and it's gonna do the same thing, so I can fire the other shot before I reload both of them. Or 16.
Yep, absolutely.
And I have one.
Mm-hmm.
This one will be like lower back, so he's probably like reaches back. He's not immediately killed outright as he reaches back, but slumps over and falls with a lot of grunts and just unpleasant trees coming from him before he dies horrifically.
Okay. So all the thugs are dead. Kineas is still thrashing around violently, doing his best, though it definitely looks like he's on his last leg, figuratively and literally. Ivory, you're up.
So Ivory continues to stride towards the melee there, and she's going to level both guns at Kineas this time. Oh, so the first one would be an 11. I think
that will not hit.
Can I use my inspiration from I had one from last time left? Can I use that to reroll?
Yes, absolutely.
Then you roll that. So that'll be a 16.
And that is what you need to hit.
Okay. And then the second pistol, is a nat 20.
Okay.
Okay, so the first pistol will do 7 points of piercing. And then if he's still alive, the second one will do 8.
All right.
And if he's still alive, I will use my action surge to shoot again.
So the second shot is enough to finish him off. And I would like to know if Ivory is actually dealing the death blow, knowing what she knows about the situation with Riker. She's absolutely able to do so. She has a clear shot on him. She could certainly do it.
I think Ivory would disable him. Not so much kill him as disable him. And then leave it up to Riker if he wants to actually do anything. She's basically she wants him down on the ground so that we can, handcuff him if that's what we're going to do. She wouldn't just outright kill him with that shot if she didn't have to.
Okay. So I imagine probably what those two shots were her shattering both of his ankles, as obviously that takes all of the stance out of him, and he immediately drops to his knees violently with a loud crash and crunch of undoubtedly more bones breaking. and he screams out again. Ah! He reaches up and kind of supports himself on a nearby booth with this metallic arm. And his head's kind of hanging down, kind of spittle, red with blood, kind of leaks from the corners of his mouth. Fucking sons of bitches. Fucking cops. He is at the mercy of the party.
Riker moves in and he levels his gun like just right between this guy's eyes. And it's at this point like around his wrist, dangling from it is a small chain with a locket, and the locket's open. And it's got a picture of his wife and daughter who are no longer here. And that's just kind of like dangling to where this guy can basically, he sees in his vision, he can focus and he can see down the barrel of this gun, but he can also focus on this locket. And like Riker's hand is trembling. It's like shaking, trying to hold the gun steady enough as he's trying to decide what to do in this moment.
You proud of yourself? Huh? You stuffed the bad man. What is... You got jewelry now. What is this? You trying to make me... You're trying to make me look at your picture now? Wait a second. Oh. Okay. And he kind of lowers himself back onto his butt. I see what this is. I see. I remember. Okay. Well, if you're going to do it, then do it. Get it over with. You don't want to leave me alive. I promise. You leave me alive, I'll make sure
Save the
join
eye.
him. I'll make sure all of you join him. You can care and goddamn tea it.
I think at that moment, soon as he goes down, right? As soon as the knees buckle, as soon as Kineas goes down, and Riker steps up.
Fucking hell. Shit.
I think that's when Hargraves steps up.
Look, kid, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But remember, we also got a mission here, too. All right? And this fucking piece of garbage,
He's got and he pulls out that card that he gave him.
I'm not sure, but he's got a connection to Astra. If that's at all related to any of this, maybe you wanna ask him something before you fucking kill him, huh? Or just say it. Do the smart thing, not the fucking shit. I ain't got time for emotions.
I mean, you can hear that metal on metal, as if at some point during the battle, his metal arm got dislocated or reshifted, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Oh, oh, fuck. Fucking asshole. Look, I'd kill him myself if I were you, but it's your choice. I'm not going to tell you what to do, kid.
A life for a life. And like he just straightens his arm and he pulls the trigger. And there's that audible gunshot, that gun pop. I imagine that that he would have closed his eyes, and when he opens them, there's a bullet hole right next to this guy's head. But he's not dead. Riker holsters his pulsar, looks at you, Graves. Book him. And proceeds to start to walk out.
He gives you a like. There's a moment of silence between that exchange, and he looks at you like he's actually fucking proud of you. Like, goddamn kid, maybe you learned something after all. And he nods and proceeds to book him. But there's a moment where he even like looks at this dude. Says, you know, that's a nice arm. That's a real nice arm. That's also a really nice eye. I think I'm due for an upgrade. I mean, you're not going to miss them once you're where, you know.
You can't be serious.
You're not going to miss them, right? We're going to book you. You're not going to miss that.
You're going to steal the mods off of my body? Man.
Listen, what you don't understand about me, don't understand. So I'm not like every Inquisitor. I'm really not. Riker here, he was nice to you. I wouldn't have been so nice.
And you can see that he proceeds to like drag you through the fucking bar. Like he's just unapologetically just making your life absolute hell.
So for the second time in less than a day, less than 12 hours, the CCPD show up to this location. And you find yourself having to fill out another report. This time, however, you're not even done filling out this report before the chief actually pulls up. And this man is named Chief Hubbard. And though you're kind of unofficially part of the CCPD, he certainly is your boss. And he shows up, comes in, his tie is kind of partially pulled away from his collar, the top button's undone. He looks very worn out, deep, dark bags under his eyes. His black mustache and hair has definitely gained more salt than the last time you've seen him, which probably hasn't been more than another day or so. He comes in and he kind of starts scanning the place and then looks and locks eyes with the four of you and kind of starts stepping over broken pieces of furniture and bodies, shaking his head. Where did I go wrong in my explanation of this? What in the hell is going on here? The four of you, anybody, one of you needs to answer me right now.
Yes, Chief. I'm responsible.
You
again.
You're an octogenarian almost. You did this?
I'm responsible.
Oh, he looks and he kind of levels a dangerous gaze at both Hargraves and Riker for sure, and probably catches Ivory in it as well. He shakes his finger. You're lucky. You're lucky that he's willing to take the fall for you because I know you. I know all three of you. And this has your fingerprints all over it.
It's nice to see you again, Yuba. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
Yeah, splendid. My ulcers are acting up. I can't imagine why. I'm getting calls from everybody. The Count has called me, asking me what is going on here. I'm having to clean up a second mess of yours. I haven't even slept since the last one. We've got people in body bags that we're having to cart off here. What is going on? Tell me you're close to solving this.
Absolutely. I figured, Chief, that you didn't want to have to pay these people to be in jail. It's taken care of.
Oh, I see. Yes. Why don't we just kill them all? It's much easier that way. You're a psychopath.
No, they started it, Chief.
Oh, self-defense. That's something I
Yes,
could put
Chief.
down on paper.
Absolutely, Chief. They were defending me.
Oh my God. He kind of pops a pill bottle out of his coat pocket and kind of tosses them back like Tic Tacs and starts chewing them as he puts the cat back on it and puts it into his pocket.
Riker pats down his overcoat as if he's looking for something, can't seem to find it. Steps over one of these either dead guys or knocked out guys until he spots what he needs, and he bends down. It's a pack of smokes. Pulls out one of them, puts it in his mouth, lights it. I like to tell you more, Chief, but looks at his watch. I'm off duty.
Oh, you're gonna go home now. Relax, kick your feet up, maybe soak in the hot bath, drown yourself in a bottle, no doubt.
And he looks, picks up one of these bottles that it's not smashed or anything. It's got some sort of liquid in it. There's no label. Good idea.
You can't be serious. He's not serious, is he? He kind of looks at the rest of you.
And he starts to walk by, and he walks just past the chief, and he looks back over at the three companions. You coming?
I did promise them a drink.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. You think that you're just gonna leave all of this behind without even an explanation as to what the hell's going on? I mean,
Look, you want an explanation? Fuck, you know I hate paperwork. You know I hate paperwork, Chief. I absolutely loathe it. But, look, I'll help you. How about that? I'll do the dirty work for you. I'll clean this place up. Don't worry. You off the hook. I'll take care of it. I mean, it might be my fault anyways, because I ran my mouth and we got into a little bit of a scuffle.
You pissed someone off with your
Oh,
mouth.
no. Yeah.
The way you talk to people.
Yeah.
This is shock and awe that you see on my face.
I know. Absolutely shock. It's atrocious. I have a horrible demeanor.
I don't know what to do with you.
I know. I'm like a rabid dog. Absolutely fucking rabid dog. You should never.
I should never have put you together on a team.
Oh, yeah.
I should have done better.
Yeah, I know.
The doctor even warned me not to do it.
I know. I make you.
Do you understand this?
I know.
I make your blood pressure really high. You got to take those blood pressure medications. It's understandable. Look, I ain't got time to really talk about this. I gotta. And you see him like walking over to it was it Caneus's body, right? Like just to the. I ain't really got time to talk about this. I got a man to interrogate and some bodies to clean up. And you see him put his metal arm down against the other metal arm, and just as hard as a man can kick, rip the arm just straight off in front of the chief. You see this? This is why we have horrendous unrest in this public sanctuary. You understand? I mean, look, here's the thing.
The arm off of a suspect. Right here.
He wasn't using it, trust me. He was gonna be fine. Besides, you weren't gonna give me an upgrade, right, Chief? You weren't gonna provide me an upgrade. This is let's just say this is a pretend I was never here. All right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
This, hey, between you and me, this doesn't go into paperwork. All right?
Don't, Hargraves. You do not tell me how to do my job, okay?
I've been telling you how to do your job for a long time. Come on, kid.
I'm gonna have your badge.
Yeah. You keep saying that. Between me and Riker, how long have you been saying that?
I'm telling you, this is the last warning that you're all getting. It's a damn good thing that you're as good as you are at what you do, because if not, you'd be in jail right next to this guy.
Hey! You're the one who put me with the old man. All right, I didn't ask to be put in Chrome City. All right, you put me with the old man. I'm protecting the old man's ass. Okay, I'm sorry you put me with Riker, who's a fucking hothead. And to be fair, he's rubbing off on Ivory because Ivory was about to cap him earlier.
Hargraves, enough.
Fucking asshole.
Please, somebody with this circus, tell me that you're getting close to closing this fucking case. Because I don't think my heart can take much more of it. What did you say, Elias?
Nearly there, Chief.
Nearly there. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Fine.
What are we confiscating?
Collect this asshole. And he points at Hargraves. And get out of here.
Yes, sir.
He
We can take
sinks
care
into a booth nearby where there's still that guy's body kind of upside down in it. And he's just kind of resting his head in his hands.
Hargraves, you have this. And he points at the lump of the bionic guy that's before you.
Yeah. I got it. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. You rest. By the way, I've never seen you, double fisted in a bar before. That was really impressive. Really impressive. Good job.
Yeah, they're a work in progress.
Yeah. And I think at that point he goes, let me ask you a question though. You knew that guy in the apartment. I can tell. Don't fucking hide from me, old man.
I believe he thought he knew me.
Okay, he knew you.
Well,
So my question is, we go to this dive bar and I find this card. And what does the card say on it, Jeremy? Because I imagine that if somebody was this, this like if there was something that was so attached to like Fade and Magic and Astra, right, that this card might link and lead to something attached. Maybe I'm outreaching, maybe whatever, but I feel like there's something there. And so if I show it to him, what does it say on there?
So this glancer has simply an address listed. And on the back, it has the same symbol that you saw that was drawn on the back of the coaster. This one is a part of the design of this business card, if you will.
So it was like the skull?
No, there's a symbol here. Hang on a second, I'll get it for you.
On the other side of the coaster, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like on the back side. And on the coaster, it was hand-drawn. One of your party, I don't remember who, I believe, identified it as having some connection to an explorer named Tendo Nin, who was the first explorer to go to the Harbinger. She disappeared. She was kind of a celebrity for a little while. You know, she was broadcasting her like daily reports of the things she was finding, and it was being broadcast back to the moons and things, and then it just stopped, and nobody has found any sign of her since. The people that have explored the Harbinger have found her camp, but they've never found her body or any of her close belongings.
I think that would be really familiar to him with his research in technology. So he would probably bring that up and say that who he thought it belonged to. What does the mock Tendo mean?
Tendo Nin, huh? All right.
I remember her.
Yeah. All right. Fine. Then I say, oh man, we go visit this address. Maybe get some more answers. They don't even know why we're there. And we've already been pretty heavy in the slums. I highly doubt that if we go to a place like this, they're really going to bat an eye.
Yes. But what about Riker? You think he's prepared?
What about him?
You think that's enough for a day for him?
I mean, I'm not trying to push. I'm just saying that should be the next place we look.
Yes, I think we should take some leave and take care of it first thing tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to.
And he's holding the metal arm in his other arm.
He's like, I'm gonna need to manufacture some upgrades by tomorrow. So yeah, we can take some time, relax, and yeah, I think that's a good idea.
He's still trying to close one of his arms, getting it back to where it was at. Do you need a hand with that?
I see what you did there, old man. Yeah, no, I could use a hand cleaning up this mess.
I'd like to extract his eye for you.
Oh, and then nice. That's a beautiful parting gift. I didn't know you liked me that much.
Well, it's more like what I'd like to see it done to him.
Oh yeah. Good idea. I'm gonna go clean the bar with Ivory. But you go stick it through his eye. How about that? Yeah.
Maybe I can get Riker to hold him for me.
Oh, you're gonna need me to hold him. Yeah, you might want to get Riker to do that. I'm kind of got my hands full. You know what I mean?
I think drinks around the house.
Okay. So it sounds like the Inquisitors are going to call it an evening. Finish up their days somewhat separated and get some rest, much needed, much deserved. It sounds like even there may be a few modifications to be made. Some new pieces of evidence and some new pieces of gear having somewhat surfaced. I have more planned, but I'm going to leave it to you guys whether or not we're going to wrap it here or press on a bit.
I'm okay to continue if need be.
Yeah, Alan's been up for a long time. Okay, so we will go ahead and wrap this here, and we will continue next time. All right, so as our Inquisitors kind of head off to get their rest, both in-game and out, the item that you inherited, not only the arm, which I will kind of get with you about how to handle what that'll mean before next time, but the sword, it sounded like Ivory was interested in that. Yes? Okay. So the sword, through a little bit of research, probably with Elias's help, if he's willing to give it, the sword is called the Ace of Spades. It is a long sword. And I'll get the picture of it real quick here. Okay. The sword belonged to a powerful criminal named Canaeus Ister. The black and deep magenta haft serves as both handle and part of the power source. Spade symbols decorate various places in the design, removing any doubt about this weapon's identity. The blade itself is mostly black and is comprised of a series of wires and conduits arc-welded in place. The energy of this sword, however, crackles, hums, and glows brightly with magenta astra when it is switched on. Mechanically, this longsword is unique in that it has the capability of holding 6 slots for modification. Currently, there are 2 mods that it has, and they are worked very closely into its design. Because of this, both mods require an intelligence check with an arc tool of a DC of 20 to successfully remove either of them from this weapon. A failure of this check causes the sword to gain the broken condition. Here are the 2 mods currently on this blade. It is currently full. Lightning enhancement. The sword deals an additional 1d6 points of lightning damage on a successful attack. The second of which, Hargraves narrowly avoided this one. Chrono corrosion. Twice per long rest on a successful attack, the wielder of this sword may choose to pump pure magenta astra into the target's armor. This functions as the chrono burn spell, with the following changes. The target must make a dexterity saving throw at a DC equal to the attack roll, or the effects take place. The wielder of this weapon does not have access to the spell's boosts. I will certainly send all of that written up to you, Karen, so that way you don't have to rely on the notes that you had to take while I was reading that. But I will send you the picture and the write-up for it. So you have gained yourself a magic item. Cool. Excellent, guys. I had a blast tonight. Thank you so much for sticking with this and providing me with an evening full of fantastic entertainment. So I'm going to pass this over to the players to let them say their goodbyes before they go to beddy bye. So first up, I'm going to let Alan go once again so that he can go to bed. Alan.
Thanks. Awesome session. Again, I love your Chrome City. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s, so it's nostalgia for me. But I love the setting. I think everybody's doing a great job of bringing characters to life that definitely feel like they live and breathe Chrome City. Your NPCs, like the commish, I mean, just it's like I'm there. So appreciate it. Always have a great time playing. Thanks, Jeremy. And everyone else, thank you for playing as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan. And by all means, man, you don't have to hang around. Next up is Karen.
That was so much fun. That was so much fun. I am absolutely loving Chrome City, and I cannot wait to keep playing. Because, yeah, as soon as I walked into that bar and you said the guy had an orange eye, I'm like, oh shit. That was amazing. Thank you. This is an awful lot of fun.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you. I'm glad that the setting is going over well. It always is a fantastic thing to hear from such great players, especially. Next up, Chad. I'll leave it to the two of you to decide which one.
Oh, you asshole.
No, no. Then I'll go first. Guys, hi. My name is Chad Nick. As always, like I hang out with this dude a lot. Jeremy and I love him. Jeremy, I love this setting. This Chrome City feels real to me because it feels like neon sludge, if that is like the best thing that I can explain it. It's like if a neon halogen leaked mercury instead of like bursting into powder. That's exactly how this feels. It is the coolest thing. I love this game. I love these players. I love all the characters. And truth be told, I know you're doing this as like a small little mini campaign, but it will hurt me so much when we finally end it and leave it. I'm going to be so sad. But this is absolutely the best. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. And it's, again, once again, it's my pleasure. And you guys are certainly doing what you can to stretch it out, which is good. No, it's not a complaint at all. I absolutely love the banter and the immersive role play. That is, it's the meat of the sandwich. It's the good part. So you guys do such a great job with it. And last but certainly not least, the other Chad.
Absolutely phenomenal time. I'm glad that we're stretching it out. Not that it was necessarily intended to, but that's like the best possible outcome. So like the best mistake you could have, right? So I look forward to your guys' company again, continuing this and in any other games that we hopefully cross paths on in the future. And just want to encourage other people to get out there and just play. We're all just bunch of people. We just got on here. It doesn't. I mean, it's taken Jeremy all the work, I guess. But you can just jump on and get in a call and spend some hours with some people and have a great time. So I really encourage you to get out there and do it.
Absolutely. I don't know if there's anybody out there who is actually watching my channel who might watch it on a normal basis, or who is tuning in to watch some of these things and isn't a part of Absolute Tabletop. But if that's the case, then you need to remedy that. Go to the Absolute Tabletop official Facebook group and see what all this is about. Get involved. Tell people you're there to have a good time. Look for games, and do what you can to get in one. Make yourself known. Make some friends. Because it's a hell of a lot of fun, especially whenever there's a group of good players that come together like this. It's very electric, and it's a good experience all around. So once again, the four of you, thank you so very much. I can't wait until I can get the Vigilantes played, which should be next week, and then get both of them posted so that everybody can watch this crazy, violent, glittery world be brought to life in such a grand way. So everyone, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.